That recording. So, start again. Hello! Yes, indeed, it is Sunday. Seems like deja vu, maybe. Day 4 of Stay at Home and Hypnotize. Sessions 7 and 8. Taking place on the 31st of May 2020. The first one of these, the second and last only, will be at the end of June. Yesterday I forgot to tell you about one section of CMT. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but needs to go on your proper recordings for you to refer back to later. And that is that, namely, after the television set, visualisation to get rid of the past, there should have been, and my fault, I apologise, so if you went and read the script or listened to the audio, you'd have thought he hasn't said that, and that's because I forgot to. It's supposed to be the magic mirror technique, create your new future. It's what NLP would refer to as future pacing. Because we've taken away and dismantled the connections to those thoughts, memories, emotions, feelings and all that negative stuff of the past, so we can't bother them as it once did in the past, that's disassociation and taking control of things, we need to instill something in its place that's positive. Otherwise it's like we've left a gap in them, whereas we want the person to feel whole again, so to speak, without wishing to sound too cheesy. So that's where the magic mirror comes in. And bearing in mind it's after the television set's been destroyed, so it would be something like this, although the script is far better worded than this. And when you listen to the audio whilst reading the script, you'll get the voice tones and all that. But vamping it off the top of my head, which will be reasonably similar, but trust me, not as good as using the actual script. It'd be something like, okay, that's fantastic. And we'll imagine the client's called David, just for the sake of it. That's fantastic, David. You've got rid of that, you've destroyed that television set permanently and positively and everything that it ever represented, so it can no longer bother you, worry you or concern you as it once did in the past. And now in your mind's eye is that image of the television set completely, the remains of it, if you can actually see any of it after the way you've managed to totally obliterate it, just fades away, gone completely. And you turn around in your mind's eye and it's almost as if you can see in the distance, in a way that's right for you, that feels calm, safe and secure. The reason for that, because we're about to do a mirror. They might have come for a phobia, but they might suffer from some sort of body morphic disorder. And we don't want, they might avoid mirrors. So we don't want them to suddenly have an abreaction. So by putting in that cat in a way that's right for you, in a calm, safe and secure, said it yesterday, explained it more there, but just reminding you again. So, it's almost as if in the background you can, in the distance, you can see a full-length mirror, and this is like a magic mirror. It's like the full size of you, but it's got lights around it, like something you might see in a Hollywood star's dressing room. And just imagine yourself walking towards that mirror, and as you do, you start to feel a wonderful sensation of pride, satisfaction, self-confidence, self-image, self-esteem, self-control, building up within you more positively with each second that passes by, with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, merely serving as a sign and a signal as you get closer towards that mirror. Your new reality is there before you, because you look into that mirror. You realise what you see is an image of yourself a week from now. As the confident, happy, healthy, relaxed non-smoker that you have now become and continue to be from this moment forward. Or as that wonderful, confident person who is naturally motivated to do more exercise and finds it so easy to say, no thank you, I don't want that cream cake. Or that person who from this moment forward sees a spider run into the room and you just laugh inside as you see that the spider's got Wellington boots on, a silly hat, it's blowing a party popper and it's dressed up like some kind of stupid, crazy cartoon character. You obviously fill in with the relevant to what they're there for. And essentially, you're seeing an image of yourself a week from now, and then suddenly, as you realise how proud you feel, how something you once thought in the past may have been difficult to achieve has proved itself to be so ridiculously easy, that image changes to one of you in a month's time. And you'll look even prouder and feel even more confident and strong and in control as the perfect you that you have become and continue to be. And then it just changes again and you see yourself a year from now, and that level of satisfaction within you is so high, it feels just absolutely fantastic. And if you wanted to at that time, you could link to something that's in the questionnaire. You know, it feels absolutely fantastic, like that time in your life when. For more on that, refer back to yesterday, how to link in stuff if you wanted to. And now really, you feel almost drawn towards the mirror in a magical magnetic sense, and you start to move towards it in your mind's eye. And it's almost as if you realise this is like a magic mirror, something like Alice through the looking glass, and just imagine in your mind's eye reaching towards that reflection of yourself, the real you that you've now become and continue to be from this moment forward. And as you do, realise it's almost as if your fingertips melt into the mirror and then your hand. And you can start to walk towards that image of the perfect new you. And as you do, you suddenly find that magically you can step into the mirror. And it's almost as if as you do that you step into that reflection of yourself as you've now become. That reflection of you as the perfect you that's fill in the blank, X, Y, Z. And it's almost as though you've just climbed into yourself, like you put on a suit of armour that positively protects you and helps you lock in this brand new, perfect you in every fibre of your being, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. And as you notice how wonderful and fantastic that feels inside, you also realise you never want that feeling to go away, those wonderful new abilities you've got to enable you to continue with this new life. So in a way that feels right for you on the count of, when I count backwards from 3 down to 1, on the count of 1 I click my fingers, that very moment, that very second, that very instant, I'd like you just to imagine breaking the mirror from the inside. Now, breaking a mirror may be deemed unlucky, but that's from the outside. You're inside the mirror, and actually it's immensely lucky to break it from the inside, because that means you can never, ever lose that suit of armour that you've just stepped into. 3, in a way that feels right for you, it may be explosives, but you'll remain completely safe. It may be you bang it with a hammer. Whatever it feels right for you is indeed right. As on 1, just make sure you're positively in that suit of armour forever. And that's effectively an outline of what the visualisation is. And that bit slots in after the TV set. In the general running order, although in the detailed script I've given you, off the top of my head, I think it comes a bit later on. It's irrelevant because you don't need to remember it off the top of your head, because you'll have the script in front of you. But I just needed to point out, because I hadn't explained what that particular visualisation actually was. So, now that I've told you all the bits that make up complete mind therapy, and you know you've got the script and the audio to learn the voice tones, a couple of principles of verbal psychology, and that is, I may have already mentioned this, but if I have, it bears repeating. Whenever you are giving somebody a command or an instruction, whilst they are hypnotised, I feel that it is, while they are hypnotised, okay, what I mean by that is when their eyes are closed, ideally, I feel it is always better to count backwards. Just like when you're doing an induction, count backwards. I'm going to count backwards from 10 down to 1. Or going down the staircase, it's counting backwards from 10 down to 1. Or in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. On the count of 1, I'll click my fingers, and then you do something. Okay? And the reason for this is that by counting the numbers backwards, they are going down. The numbers are going down. So by virtue of the numbers going down, that itself is a suggestion of going downwards, which is a metaphor for going down, getting your head down for sleep. Whereas numbers going upwards, which is why when we do the awakening, we count from 1 to 10, and on the count of 10, then and only then they can open their eyes. Numbers going upwards, tie in, my memory aid for it is that you wake up in the morning and you get your head down to sleep. So in hypnosis commands, the numbers always go backwards. Waking them up, the numbers always go upwards. This also then helps you remember that when you are waking people up, your voice tones go up as well towards the end, because you're revitalising, re-energising. And when you're doing an induction, your voice tones want to have that stereotypical rolling nonsense voice, because that's what they expect it to be. Because the deeper you go, the better you'll feel, and the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. And there's a few phrases. There's the deeper you go, the better you'll feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. That's kind of what they call a loop suggestion, because at the end, it's repeating itself. So once it's been given, it's circular. It goes on forever. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. And you're back at the beginning, so it's going to keep going. With every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, it will merely serve as a sign and a signal for X, Y, Z. That you no longer need, won't crave or desire for drugs or tobacco, or whatever, or you're not scared of it, whatever can be latched on the end. Well, at some point, you know, with every breath you take, every noise you hear, every word I say, and every thought you think, they're going to be doing one or more of them all the time. So arguably, if you believe in this shit, then the suggestions are being compounded every time one of those things happens. Right at the beginning of the session, whether it's stage or therapy, we tell them right near the beginning, once we've got their eyes closed, that from this moment forward, just as long as you keep your eyes tightly closed at all times, unless I say otherwise, then this will prove to be 1,000,000% successful for you. And just so long as you keep using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively. The work we do here today together will be 1,000,000% successful for you. Not yet if you understand, consent, compliance, and hypnotic contract. Yeah, I think that's probably all I wanted to say right there about that, I think, to reiterate. So, the only other things to mention about the CMT script is that, yes, obviously you can, as you go along every now and again, insert their name so that it's obvious you are being specific to them. But the way I wrote it is so that you don't have to do that. That's why it's called non-specific treatment script. It is phrased. You can take this running order, use it and put the names in, and yes, you can relate it to the questionnaire and tie in bits for the positive pain and pleasure and all that, if it makes you feel more confident. But that really, in the vast majority of cases, is the only fucking difference. The difference will be in your head, not the client's head, because they don't know what to expect anyway. And the way the script's worded, it leaves it so it seems specific and tailor-made and special for them, because they fill in all the blanks anyway, so it couldn't be more tailor-made. Well, it could, we know that, it could be a tiny bit by using the stuff that's on the questionnaire. But they don't know that, so therefore it won't make a blind bit of difference in the effectiveness, other than if you in your head have a mental block that says, right, I really need to be saying the name a bit more often, and I really need to be using stuff off their questionnaire. Which I know begs the question, well, why bother getting them to do the questionnaires then? If that thought's entered your head, then watch the other videos again and you'll see. The questionnaire, the importance of them, yes, it can be for getting information to use within the session, but actually it's about the ritual of them doing it and following commands and externalising stuff and disassociating from it and starting to take responsibility and control for themselves over that which they could have always done for the fucking themselves anyway, so that they're earning the right to come to you and leave that emotional baggage behind of self-blame, shame, guilt and regret and all that kind of stuff. I hope that makes sense. So with that in mind, that arguably means that if you can read the script, and this, believe it or not now, no, we won't do this yet, I'll tell you something else. And that something else is, I did mention yesterday about the audio MP3. You can, if you want, use the major post-hypnotic suggestion and say to them, when you listen to the MP3 that I give you, you'll hear my colleague's voice, Jonathan Royle, and when you do it, it'll be just as effective as if I was there in the room with you. Now personally, what I would recommend you do is, if you're in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, great. If you're not, I would recommend before midnight on Wednesday that you join, because you will never get another opportunity again to join for £197 United Kingdom sterling single payment. It was dearer than that when it first ever launched years ago. And since then, it's grown in size massively, because I bought the rights to so much stuff off other people and put it in there. If you're in the boot camp, or more rather, when you get into the boot camp, you'll find there's a section on using Audacity. It will teach you how to use the free Audacity software that you can download off the internet free of charge. It will teach you how to record your own recordings on your own computer at home relatively easily. And in there you will also find in the boot camp copyright free music that you can use in the background to make your recordings. Because obviously later I'll talk a bit about multiple streams of passive income, but in the boot camp, in my millionaire plan package and my passive hypnosis profits package, between those two you'll learn exactly how I have sold literally millions of products around the world consistently over the past, not the past 30 years, because I didn't actually start selling hypno related products until I was 18. So we have to knock 4 years off, so it's 26 years to be honest about that part of things. But it will show you everything, examples, how to do it for yourself, and it literally it's a roadmap, a blueprint that if you follow, as numerous of my past students have, then you will be way more successful than you could possibly imagine. I'm not going to stand here and say you're going to be a millionaire, because I can't be with you there to hold your hand. But the potential is there. You'll certainly be better than you're at currently, I guarantee. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. You have to do something different if you want every aspect of your life to change. Now, the script, the non-specific treatment script, CMT, I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. So what I'm about to say is going to sound a little bit odd. You have to fill in the gaps yourself in your own mind, okay? But then if you do what the person I'm going to tell you the story about, which I'm allowed to tell because they posted it in public, in the public domain on Facebook a number of years ago, then you can fill in the blanks, work this out and check it out for yourself. And you'll see the validity is 100% true what I'm telling you. Just I don't want to break the law because I don't know when these videos might get into the hands of relevant parties, so I've got to keep within legal contracts. So, but for your benefit you need to know this, because then you can have even more faith in my non-specific complete mind therapy script. I can tell you categorically that some of the biggest names in life coaching and hypnotherapy and whatever other fancy titles you want to give it, personal development, I've got products out where I wrote the scripts that they are using. And my name's not mentioned on the product. That is because I've been financially compensated enough to make it worth my while to not insist to have my name put on the product, and so that they can be perceived as having created that product themselves. And that's how this situation came about, because a number of years ago somebody contacted me on Facebook and said, yesterday I bought the Perfect You audio self-help package for, I think it was on special offer at the time at about $47. Sometimes I sell it for $300, but it was about $47. Which effectively is was and still is the 53-minute long audio MP3 track that's in the CMT download package that you've all got, together with an accompanying ebook of a self-help nature that I put together. And they said, I want a refund because you've stolen this. And I went back to them, what do you mean? They went, it's not your creation. I bought off Amazon a week after having purchased your self-help thing, which, and in fairness, they went, after getting this self-help thing off you, it worked really well, but I'd already ordered this product off Amazon, a physical audio CD called Your Key to Becoming the Best Ever You, by the Speakmans. the British television life coaches. Just search YouTube if you're in a different country for the Speakman's This Morning television life coaches. Or celebrity life coaches. And they bought in a PayPal dispute basically. They told me they bought in a PayPal dispute for their money. And now, if they said they weren't really happy with the product, I would have quite happily given them a refund, as is required under distance selling regulations anyway, which you'll learn about in Millionaire Plan and Passive Profits when you join the bootcamp. But they weren't saying that, and it got me back up a bit due to the fact that I know I wrote that script. And now I have to be careful when I say any other names again. I wrote a script that people have licensed. And if you were to buy their products, you may sit there, if you didn't know, and think that I had copied the wording of their audio CD. Where in fact, their audio CD is 100% identical in wording to my download. And because it was written by me and licensed by me to them. Which, if you've got any element of skepticism about that, quite simply, my book, which the script's also in, was published years before the individuals actually have it hit public attention, so I can prove copyright. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you so that you realise that genuinely, when I've said over the past few days that the biggest names in this industry pay me money to teach them stuff, put stuff together for them, it's fact. Again, it's weird, some of the laws out there. I can't stand here and tell you the names of certain television stage hypnotists around the world that I've advised, but you'll work it out if you go looking on my website, magicalguru.com. It'll be blatantly obvious. You'll see the photographic proof of me with them when I'm teaching them, and they're stood there observing. In fact, I posted something that might be along those lines in the group yesterday. Someone who's about to have one of the biggest hypnosis television shows in the world when it launches towards the end of this year in America and then goes worldwide. I gave them advice on you know, putting a TV show together back in 2013 and along the way since. So yeah, this is partly me bragging. Makes me feel good. I actually do feel quite good. There you go, getting off my chest. Haha. No, actually, seriously, joking aside, I'm telling you because I need you to, I want you to, you owe it to yourself to have complete and utter confidence that everything I've told you the past few days is true, is exactly how I've done things and how the people that I have taught who are at the top of this industry. And there's no reason why you couldn't be too. If you follow the kind of stuff, this will get you a certain length of the way, certain way along the path. If you want to really aim for the sky, then you really do need to be in the bootcamp. Because there's no way that before 11:30, say today England time, that I'm going to be able to teach you the marketing, advertising, publicity and promotion to the level that is the key to success, that has enabled me to get my past clients who are now famous names around the world regularly into national newspapers, on TV, and also having done it for myself. But I will give you some nuggets in the second part that will be useful. But I need to have total faith in the power of the CMT script, because here's a lovely thing for you, okay? Right, get ready for this. We don't know how long all this social distancing malarkey is going to go on, or if there's going to be a second wave at some point. So it's important that you consider being able to do therapy sessions over the internet. I'm just going to see what's popped up on the screen. Oh, it's okay. It was telling me the notification wasn't anything my wife hadn't managed to make disappear. She has, it was because I didn't have the chat box open at the side. It was telling me there was chat. There you go. The one thing I am not is completely computer literate. But I don't need to be. You don't need to be successful. It's ironic that I run most of my business on the internet. You just need to know enough, and enough to make a fortune is very basic, as you'll learn as the evening goes on. I also am incredibly, I used to say lazy, but then I realised that that was giving myself negative suggestions. Although I was saying it mainly tongue-in-cheek, because you know, the truth is, it's incredible how more successful in life I got, the more work and effort I put in truth. But a lot of it now is on autopilot. That's what I mean by lazy. So unless something fucks up, which occasionally happens, most of it happens automatically, autopilot, little if any work needed to be done by me, which could be you in that position, if you follow what I tell you later, whereby certain things get farmed out, like I said, to other people to do. But we'll get onto that shortly. But you are going to want products at some point. So there's products and online sessions. So online sessions in a nutshell. Here's all you really need to know. Okay? It's up to you whether you use Zoom, Skype, Facebook, video messenger. The truth of the matter is they're all pretty much the same. There are people out there who'll argue that and say Zoom's better than that. There's people who say actually this other platform's more secure. I don't give a fuck about those arguments, right? I'll tell you what it is. I would say, I'd offer all three, quite frankly. You know, sessions available on Facebook, video messenger, Zoom, Skype, and if you happen to have others, it's up to you. That isn't the issue. You get whatever bloody thing you want, and if it's Zoom, the fact is you're not supposed to do longer than 40 minutes for free. So like it or lump it, you are going to have to pay for the lowest cost pro package, which is it's just under £15 sterling a month. It's probably about the same in America because, you know. But the simple fact is, if you cannot justify paying out £15 sterling, which is about the current exchange rate, about $17.50 each month, for the ability to be able to do online sessions, then frankly go and get a fucking job stacking shelves in the supermarket, because you're a waste of fucking space. Seriously? If there's any part of your brain that goes, oh, I don't know if I want to commit to paying out $17 a month, will I be able to pay it when the bill comes in? Then fuck off, you're wasting my time, your time, and you're frankly a waste of fucking skin as far as the world of hypnotherapy or stage hypnosis is concerned. Seriously, and that isn't tongue-in-cheek. Because there's only so far you can go in life coming up with bullshit excuses not to do something. Now, don't get me wrong. There is one justifiable excuse right now this second, or there would be if it wasn't for the fact that you're all on this bloody Zoom call. And that would have been one justifiable reason for not doing online sessions if for some reason you did not have a web camera in your computer. But that would only be a justifiable enough excuse until you went on eBay and bought one, because you can get one for less than $20 fucking dollars. And if you can't get $20 together, sell something so you can afford to bloody buy a $20 webcam and plug it into your laptop. Because all you need, yes, I've got a fancy lighting ring in here, but the truth is for online therapy sessions, you don't even need that, because for the vast majority of it, they're going to have their fucking eyes closed, aren't they? So what's it matter if you sat there in a bloody darkness? It doesn't. So don't let little things like that put you off from doing it. You don't need fancy lights to do online therapy sessions. You don't need a fancy backdrop. Yeah, don't get me wrong, you don't want to be sat somewhere where what's in the background is, you know, if what turns you on in life is pornographic style art on the walls, probably best not to be sat to your webcam showing that to the client. Might distract them a touch. Use a bit of common sense, but for fuck's sake, you don't even have to buy a fancy backdrop. A bloody blank coloured sheet that you could draw and pin on the wall if need be, off to find a button, is enough for a therapy session. Ideally, what all you want to be putting on the wall, and you can put them up and take them down when you want to, is so that it's in view. So if you're sat down at your laptop, in view here, you want at least a few diplomas in frames on the wall so they can be seen. So the fancy crest people see it, and that's a visual placebo and a visual suggestion of how wonderful you are because you've got a wall full of certificates. That's the ideal background, and maybe in shot slightly part of a bookcase with some very thick books on psychology. Don't worry, go on Amazon, find the biggest page number books on psychology you can that are newer, that are used and second hand from like 1 penny plus or 10 cents plus a couple of dollars postage, and buy about $20 worth. You're never going to read the fucking things, don't waste your time doing that. They're just props to put on the bookshelf so that people see them and think, hey, they've read all those very important seeming psychology books. This person's a real expert. It's about building up the picture. You don't need fancy backdrops. You don't need a top of the range webcam. They just need to be able to see. I mean, this webcam I'm using, alright, yes, I know that I've got a light, and that light cost me about 50 quid, which is about $60, but if I turn off the ring light, you can still see me with my office light. It's not as vibrant, but this is perfectly fucking fine for an online therapy session. I would not be arsed getting out the tripod, setting it up, putting the ring light on, and wasting additional electricity for an online hypnotherapy session. It's just totally unnecessary. So don't allow that to be an excuse to stop you from doing it. That's why I'm saying this stuff. All you need is your computer device. Internet, although I would advise, and what I've done recently because of the COVID crisis, I didn't bother because I didn't really do online sessions prior to this nonsense, is that I've actually cabled from my office all the way round out the landing, down the stairs, all the way downstairs to the router box, so that I'm actually cabled directly hardwired into the internet. Yes, we've got wireless, but LAN connection is stronger and less likely to fuck up. Obviously, there's still the weak link of the client's end, but what can you do? The start of the session, as I've already covered yesterday or the day before, you tell them that if for any reason they lose the internet, to log back onto Zoom as soon as they come round naturally, which they will do naturally if they don't hear your voice for more than a few minutes. Well, the simple fact is that with the CMT script, once they close their eyes, you're talking all the way to the end. The only times that you know is when you told them to visualise something. At that point, you're only keeping quiet for about a minute anyway. So they'd soon know if they'd lost the internet, and you've already told them in advance it'd be fine, you can just reconnect, whatever, or send me a message on Facebook if you were using Zoom, or send me a text message from my phone. Have a backup plan in place, is what I'm saying. That's all you've got to do, think ahead. Obviously make sure that they can hear. Them hearing you is more important than seeing you, because most of the time their eyes will be closed, yeah? So their device needs to be near to where they're going to ideally lie down, or sit down, but so they're leant back safely in a chair with arms, like an armchair, so that they can't slump out of it and fall. Health and safety, which is covered in depth in the bootcamp, but those are kind of the key points. And with an online session, again, you still go through all the stuff with the questionnaire, because it's part of the process, it's part of the treatment. So really, because you shouldn't have any excuses there, a webcam is so cheap to buy. The one I'm using now literally only cost me $16.99, including postage and packaging delivery. That's less than $20, so there's no fucking excuse. There really isn't. Admittedly, I have got an external mic. I'm recording this for the backup for in the room camera and stuff, and so the sound quality is a bit better. But I'll be totally honest with you. I've been doing online therapy sessions on and off for quite a while now, and I only actually got this microphone delivered about a week before doing this. Well, no, it was a couple of weeks before this event took place. It was for this event. The therapy sessions I've been doing, I've just been using the internal microphone in my laptop. Because people can hear me well. It doesn't need to be studio quality. It really doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to sound 100% studio quality anyway when you start playing your winky wanky new age shitey music in the background. So don't let too many people don't even get close to fulfilling their potential because they've fallen for the bullshit that you shouldn't do things until they're perfect. So you shouldn't be doing online sessions until you've got the $200 webcam. You shouldn't be doing it until you've got it on a $100 stand with a backdrop. Bullshit. These are people telling you that or brainwashing you. They're either full of shit, or they're full of shit and they're trying to sell you something directly, or they're full of shit and they're trying to send you to an affiliate link where they make money for selling you something, or they're just full of shit. Can I guarantee if you check them out, other than the odd one or two on the planet, somebody of the ilk of Paul McKenna, for example, probably does have a higher level of equipment, just because to not do would in itself, if anyone found out, not quite tie in with the perception people have of him. That said, from what I've seen on Paul's openly Facebook group and social media, he quite often does stuff directly off his phone, Facebook Lives, or his what do they call them? Tablet, So we live in a world where things don't have to. People are used to it being not 100% perfect. What they're buying from you is not a Hollywood production. They're buying, information or a life change, or an amazing memory if it's an entertainment experience. It's about reframing the way you look at it yourself as well, so you don't keep coming up with sad fucking excuses why you haven't done it. And I can guarantee most of you on this call, at best, have either got no products, or at best you might possibly have a stop smoking, a weight loss, a confidence and an anxiety or stress audio recording on sale. The main sort of 3 or 4. Now, most of you won't have. Now, if you're a complete beginner, fair enough. You kind of get a green card, a pass card at the moment, because why would you have it at such an early stage? If you've already been doing therapy for anything longer than, I'd say longer than 3 months, and you haven't got any products out there at all, then you're a fucking idiot, frankly. And if you let that remain the case after the end of today, if in 3 weeks from now you still got 0 products out on the marketplace, then you're a fucking waste of skin, and you may as well go and get a job stacking shelves in the supermarket. Because with what I have given you, I genuinely should be charging you shitloads more. And you know that deep down. Which is one of the reasons why if you're not in the boot camp, you're going to go beg, steal or borrow the money or something. Or even if you have to sell something so that you can fucking afford it before midnight on Wednesday, you will, because you know that you don't want to miss that opportunity of getting in for just £197 sterling and getting what these other people have paid literally tens upon tens of thousands of pounds up front, or commissions over the year to me, for me to advise them and get them there. You're getting it ridiculous. Because here's how you get your first products out. If you know how to use Audacity already, great. If not, it'll teach you how in the bootcamp. You download the free software. You sit there, even if it is only with, and by the way, you can get if you feel you do want a decent mic, you can get a decent USB plug-in mic for less than $30 on eBay. There's no excuse. Don't get me wrong, if you can afford it, I would say go and look at something like the Blue Yeti or the Snowball mic, but they're going to cost you like 100, 150 bucks, at least in that sort of region. But the truth is, I've had both of those mics, and the one I've just got, which cost me less than 25 quid sterling, it's dear enough as good. It's dear enough as fucking good. The rest of it's vanity and bullshit. And no one's looking at the mic anyway, especially not with a therapy session. So don't let these things get in your way. You sit down and you listen to the audio MP3 track, you read the script, so you learn the voice tones, the speeds, the inflections in the voice and all that kind of stuff, and where to pause. Then you read the script again and you read it out loud and you record yourself, audio. So you can test that it takes you, it should take, if you're able to read the entire script in anything less than 45 minutes, you are saying it way too fast. You're not leaving the pauses where they should be. And if it takes you any longer than 55 minutes, because it takes me 52 minutes and several seconds, but that's including that's not the script, that's the entire recording, because that also includes the hi, welcome to this, here's the recording, don't listen to it while you're driving or operating mechanical machinery, make sure phones are switched off, and all that kind of nonsense that you'll hear, health and safety and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be your guide, so you make sure you can read it pretty much within that time, and then record yourself fucking doing it, reading it right, and then in Audacity add some of the copyright-free music from the bootcamp behind it. Make sure your voice is obviously audible over the music, so the music's background music, and then click the button so it creates recording, and call that recording Complete Mind Therapy Master. Okay? That's what you're going to do. And the missing bits of that you can either find for free on the internet anyway. How do I use Audacity if you wanted to, but it's all in the bootcamp, along with all the other invaluable stuff that really will change your business, your life and everything. And then what you do is this. You click on the audio MP3 track that you've saved it as, that's on the hard drive of your computer, and you right mouse click and you choose copy. And then you go to the side of it and you click right mouse click and you click paste, and ping, a copy of the MP3's there, and it'll say Complete Mind Therapy Master, depends on your system, 1, 0, whatever. Then this is what you do. You right mouse click on that one, the copy, Complete Mind Therapy 1 or whatever it's decided to name it. Right mouse click and you go down to where it says rename. And that'll highlight where it was named, and you click delete and it removes what was there, or you highlight the words and click delete and it deletes it. And then in its place you put stop smoking with ease. And you click away from it, off it, so then it saves that and renames it as that. So then on your hard drive you can see Complete Mind Therapy Master, and you've now got Stop Smoking with Ease. Because if you read, well actually, I'll tell you what you do next. You go to the Complete Mind Therapy Master, you right mouse click, you choose copy. You might start guessing now, you move to the side and you click and you put paste. And another Complete Mind Therapy Master, maybe 1 or 0, a copy of the Master will appear. What do you do all together? You right mouse click on it and you choose rename. You highlight the text. You click delete and you rename this one. Weight management and the hypnotic weight loss system. I'm just making that shit up. You come up with a better name than that, but it'll teach you how to do that in the Millionaire Plan in the bootcamp. The point is you give it a name. Then, anyone ahead of me? You go to Complete Mind Therapy Master, you right mouse click, you copy, you go off to the side, you click paste. Then, once it appears, you click on it, right mouse click, you choose rename, you highlight the text, you delete it, and you go and you call it Supreme Self-Confidence, you click off to the side, it's there. You then go to Complete Mind Therapy Master, you right mouse click, you choose copy, you go over there, you click paste, you click right mouse click, you go rename, you delete the text, and you call this one Better Golf Swing through Hypnosis. Then you go up there, you copy your and do you get the idea? You copy the original file and paste it, you right mouse click to choose rename, you delete the title that was there, Complete Mind Therapy Master, and you give it a title relevant to the advert you're going to sell it through. You could have literally from that one recording, because of the way I've scripted that non-specific treatment script for you, so that when people hear it being delivered, it says, welcome to this recording and all that. It says, imagine in your mind's eye that problem you had in the past. For this, for the audio recording, you definitely do not add in any personal information. You let them fill in the gaps. That's why I worded the script that way. It will seem personal to them when they listen to it, but the beautiful thing is, you only have to make one audio recording and you have got literally tens of thousands of products. They just need they just need to be copied, pasted and renamed, so the MP3 file that the person ends up buying and downloading or getting sent on disc or USB stick or whatever has got the name of what they believe they have purchased. And if you were a stage hypnotist who was maybe having some products for back of the room sales, you could do it on USB. At one time I had CDs in cases, but I cut down the cost because what I did was I had 1,000 audio CDs, glass stamps, so they were incredibly cheap, and on the front was like a hypno spiral. It just said the perfect you, and they all came to me boxed up with a nice cover that pretty much said that had, I didn't bother having them shrink wrap low for this reason, that had a kind of a yellow, you know, like an empty box you get in a show poster where they put in the details of the venue after, yeah? And then I just got a whole bunch of cheap stickers done that said, stop smoking with ease, a bunch of stickers that said hypnotic weight loss, a bunch of stickers that said supreme self-confidence, a bunch of stickers that said stress reduction, and a bunch that said phobia removal, and a few other of the most common things. Carried the stickers in the bag. I maybe had one or two of each ready with stickers on of each title. But then if there was a big demand for stop smoking, a person doing the back of the room sales could just stick onto the discs on the back in the blank box, smoking sticker, and the person who buys it, who's got exactly the same disc as the person next to them who's bought weight management, the only difference is the sticker that's been put on the back, because it says on it, stop smoking with ease, he believes that's what it is. And that's further compounded when he uses the session, or she uses the session, because of the way the script's worded. They fill in the blanks and make it completely specific and personal to them. So it can be for better golf, it can be for overcome phobias, it can be for weight loss, it can be for confidence, it can be for better sex, it can be for premature ejaculation, it can be for increasing your it can be for fucking anything. I hope you're getting the message and this makes sense. I've not just given you a structure for one-to-one sessions. A structure you can also use not just in person but also online via video platform. But I've given you the ability to make literally thousands of products to get you started on the road to actually having multiple streams of passive income. And later on I will talk about, in the second half, a little bit at least, about how to attract customers to the places where you will advertise for sale your products. Because obviously it's no good having products if they're not selling. I get that. But you can't sell something without having the product first. You know? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? In this case, it's the product. But you've no fucking excuse. And if you join the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, I mean, I've given you that free. You've got that. You've got the script. You've got my permission to use the complete mind therapy script to create your products. The only thing you do not get permission for is to ever claim that you wrote the script. If somebody in a public arena was to categorically ask, did you write the script for that audio? The only legally justifiable and acceptable answer is, no, I use this with under license and with full permission from the hypnotic script creator, Dr. Jonathan Royle, which will not diminish your standing in any way. In fact, if anything, you know, even medical experts have consultants they refer to for certain things. It'll actually increase your prestige. But that's only if they ask. Otherwise, they'll naturally assume that you wrote it because it's got your bloody name on the website where they're buying it. They fill in the blanks. Yeah, God, I really do hope this makes sense. Because I can't stress enough that you've no excuses left. And there'll be some of you going, I really wish I could get in his boot camp, but I really can't justify £197 United Kingdom sterling right now. It's a lot of money and there's not money coming in. Really? Are you really going to get that, the final bit of your mind, stop you from fucking achieving the success you deserve? And making sure if something like this fucking ridiculous situation ever happens again, that in the future you won't be sat there wondering how you're going to pay the bills, because you will have started taking action now to create your multiple streams of passive income, and you'll actually be not particularly giving a shit, like I spoke about the other day, because you will have money coming in from other sources. Are you really going to let, what? Put it in perspective, what is it, about 230 United States dollars, about the same in euros, £197 sterling. If you're not getting that for a one-to-one therapy session, anyway, then either A, you're not charging enough, or B, you're not advertising right to attract clients. Or obviously C, there might be one or two of you haven't yet started, who are complete newbies, but moving forward, you should be able to earn that money back like that. And I guarantee you this, if you have to borrow it and stick it on the credit card, because you can do that through PayPal, or borrow it off someone or sell something so you can get it, yeah, that'll feel uncomfortable and painful. Good! Because you know what that'll make you do? It'll make you fucking go and study the millionaire plan and the passive hypnosis profits plan. It'll make you take notes, and it'll make you start fucking setting up your websites and your other sales outlets, and to start making multiple streams of passive income. It'll give you the fucking kick up the arse. Once you take that first step, so you've made the investment, then you'll do something about it. But if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. CMT alone, potentially thousands of products there. It's just the way you label them up. Yes, you will then need logos, you will need graphics to go on the websites and stuff, because they see the graphic and they read the sales copy, the advert, and then they buy, and you'll need a way of them downloading it. That stuff we'll talk about after the break. But those can be done incredibly cheaply, and I'm not going to, if you're just getting the odd one or two done for starters, I suggest you may as well just go and get something that's relatively mediocre done for $5 on Fiverr.com. And where you tell them the title, if it's like Stop Smoking with Ease, it might be the old Stop Smoking symbol with a name on. Could be some as shit as that. Then, when you've got a few products out there bringing you some money in, then step up the prestige a bit and start putting your prices up even more, and then justifiably go and seek out a professional such as hypnotic-consultants.co.uk that there'll be a link to in the group later. That's Stuart Harrison Cassell's website, who does all my graphic design, all my poster leaflet printing, all my website designs, except one, but I'll talk about that after the break, because that's part of my weird marketing plan that links in alongside the marketing plan that Stuart will tell you about, that links in alongside product creation and getting clients that I'll talk about after the break. They run concurrently. Now, I've already said during this event that you don't want to be seen as a jack of all trades. Because a jack of all trades, some therapists, you see the leaflets, the websites, and it's like, we deal with agoraphobia, bulimia, confidence, drugs, and they've got about 10 things for each letter of the alphabet. The moment I see that, I think, I'll tell you what you're a master at, being shit at marketing yourself. Because if you saw a website that said somebody did all that, or you landed on a website, pure example, that maybe was called Freedom from Cocaine, because you've been searching about how the solution for getting off cocaine, and you found this site, Freedom from Cocaine, and you went on it, and the only thing mentioned was how easily this person can make it be for you to leave your cocaine addiction behind. Which of the two people, this one that does everything from A to Z, or this one that's clearly the specialist, who's got an address on Harley Street in London, or Rodney Street in Liverpool, or whatever the street is where the apparent conventional medical experts have their offices in your particular country. Of course, the expert's going to win every time. Experts, perceived authority figures get to charge more, and yet you're doing exactly the same fucking complete mind therapy session as fuckwit over here who's making a fraction of the money as you are here. It's about positioning, they call it in market. We'll get back onto that law in the after the break, because I want to get into cured and then enable us to be able to do the exam before the break. Well, hey! So, for this, I have bothered to print out the script off my computer. I don't normally print out scripts, and the reason is, because as I told you yesterday, you can use a free auto cue software from the internet that you can get, so you can have it on your computer and you can... Well, that's what I use when I'm doing complete mind therapy sessions on people. And also when I'm doing group sessions. Oh, which reminds me, I need to tell you how to do group sessions. I've told you how to do one-to-one therapy sessions. Watch the videos back. Use an online payment function like PayPal. You get paid up front. You do the questionnaire thing as I've already explained. You do the CMT session as I've explained. The only difference is they're over a fucking screen. They're still sat in front of you like they will be in an office. It's just that they're not physically in the room. That's the fucking difference. Just a bit more attention to health and safety regarding making sure they can hear you and that, you know, what happens if the internet goes down. Other than that, there's no difference. Oh, but is it going to work as well as if they were there with you? Why the fuck wouldn't it? The only reason it wouldn't is if the client doesn't believe it would. And here's the thing, if your advertising's done right, and the client buys into you as the person who's going to help them, refer back to everything I've said the past few days, please, if you don't get the point of that now, then they will trust when you say that it's just as powerful that it will be. Which is why I've already said during this course, you should be charging the same as you would if they came to you. Not offering it cheaper online. That devalues what you're offering them, which is a solution. A massive life-changing thing. You know? Group sessions. I use the complete mind therapy script. And if you've got any doubts about that, you can either invest about $100 or by going to magicalguru.com, clicking on my store and looking for the group hypnotherapy trainings, training video package. But why the fuck would you do that when for basically just double that, you could have 30 years of business building knowledge and success systems, not just from myself, but also from 16 other incredibly successful people. You wouldn't, would you? You'd get the boot camp before midnight on Wednesday if you had any sense. I know most of you are already in the boot camp, so well done, intelligent ones. In which case you'll go and use the resources in the boot camp if you haven't done already. Which is the group hypnotherapy sessions training package where you will see me, along with a colleague of mine, Chris Leaker. We thought we'd do it together for the crack. Just for a bit of a laugh, but there's no need to. Where effectively we use exactly the complete mind therapy script. That's it. The only difference is that rather than one person being in front of me, there was an audience for the smoking session that was videoed for the boot camp. I think it was about 48 people for the smoking cessation session. For the weight loss, I think it was about just short of 40. I think more than that paid, but only about 40 showed up. The point is, in the course of one evening, 2 roughly 75-minute group sessions, with a bit of a gap in between to let people out and let the other people in, one for smoking, one for weight loss, I walked away with, well, you'll see for yourself. When you bear in mind, you'll see some of those people paying the money, because they showed up on the night, they hadn't booked in advance, some of them, and I walked away with thousands of pounds, United Kingdom sterling. And every time I've ever done these events, I walk away with thousands of pounds for just a few hours work on the night. Now yes, there's work in advance to get them there, but that's relatively low cost, as we'll explain after the break. Can be practically no cost if you want to book the man hours in, but I tell you, the return on investment far outweighs seeing people on a one-to-one therapy session scale. There's only so many hours in the day, you can only see so many people. You're always going to make more money selling products virtually while you're asleep at night, or doing group sessions than you ever will seeing clients on a one-to-one basis. It's just a simple fact, mathematical fact. There's only so many hours in the day, only so many people you can see one-to-one. And yet in that same hour and a half, let's say, that you allow for a client showing up, doing the CMT session the way I've taught you, refer back to the videos, and then at the end being nice to them, and rather than just immediately saying fuck off, getting rid of them and then having time to have a brew to yourself before the next client, about an hour and a half. In that same time, you could be stood in front of a room of, even if it was only 10 people, right? Let's say you started off small and you only managed to get 10 people to pay you a nominal amount of money, like $77 to stop smoking. That would be $770 for an hour and a half's work. And even if you spent out $270 of that on advertising, you wouldn't, nowhere near that. But I'm just trying to give you an extreme example here of low sales, high expenses, but would still leave you $500, which is more than most therapists mentally allow themselves to ever entertain getting for a single session.